Good morning, one and all. Welcome back to Red's Homestead. Today's the day before Easter and all the family comes over. You might see the timeline of these videos as they come out be a little off. I'm actually on vacation right now, and I'm doing a video every single day, but I'm still gonna put them out every other day. I'm hoping that it's gonna give me a little bit of a break when I go back to work. I'm hoping I have a few videos kind of saved up so that I'm not feeling so pressured to get a video out every other day when I'm back at work. So yes, you'll see a little bit of a gap in time before we really start going again. But I'll make sure everybody gets caught up on what we're doing. Being the day before Easter, we're finishing cleaning up everything on the inside. At least Shannon's prepping a bunch of eggs stuff because we have as many eggs as we could possibly need and more because we give them all away. But I'm gonna still do a few things outside. I've got to set up my tomato wiring so when they do grow up, I can train them upwards and keep them off the ground. I'll show you how I do it. My first step, I'm gonna start setting my T-posts on either end of the bed following each row. So I'm gonna have 2 T-posts on each side, then I'm gonna have 2 T-posts in the middle. When I hammer them in, I'm gonna hammer them at an angle facing this way. So when I pull the wire tight, it should pull the T-post a little bit further in. Now I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Last, I'm gonna do one right in the middle. It's just gonna help support the wire. All right, now I'm gonna run the wire about 2 notches down. Not have to be perfect. And I'm gonna connect it to 2 notches down on the wire on the other side. So I just wrapped it around here a few times and then coiled it back, cut off the excess right here. I've got a pretty tight line, very tight line, and sturdy. Can probably hold a whole lot of weight by itself, but I'm gonna do an extra measure as well. So just in case I have an incredible growing season and this gets really heavy, this is the bar in the middle. I'm just gonna connect it right here with your regular old T-post clip, just to have that extra support in the middle. And now I've got that extra level of support. I'm gonna do this to both sides. Next up, got a box of twine. Gonna start at the bottom, raise it up, tie it off on the top, and then we'll tie it to the tomato plants. So this is the method that I'm not familiar with. I've never done this one before. The method that I am familiar with are the tomato cages. Those can get expensive though, especially when you have 46 tomatoes and peppers. I think they're like 5 something a piece. So I'm not gonna spend that much money, at least this year, to do anything like that. So we're gonna test this method out and see how well it works. One thing I do like is that it's very adaptable. So let's say the weight becomes too much for this kind of span of just wire, I could add another T-post in the middle. Now I've seen people do this with PVC pipe, metal conduit pipes, and those held up really well. That's definitely more sturdy than what this is, but we're gonna see. What I am gonna do though is probably have tomato cages, at least for this part of the garden, for these tomatoes. I only have to get a handful of them, and it'll be a nice side-by-side comparison. And what I'm gonna end up doing with this string right here, you'll see down here at the bottom, I'm gonna be cutting off these as it grows until there's gonna be a good at least 6 inches from the ground to the base of the plant of nothing but great airflow. This string will come down and I'll secure it to the base of that plant, and it'll allow it to grow up the twine. And as it grows and grows, I'll just keep attaching it all the way down. And once these plants grow just a little bit more, I'll end up putting my rabbit fertilizer, the rabbit poop, and then just the straw from inside the racking house. I just take it, put it right on top of the bed. It will have some of the hot chicken manure in it. Inside the racking house, the chicken poop is very concentrated right here at the front. This is where they sleep. So down there, where you find all the droppings for the chickens. So I avoid that area, and I go underneath the rabbits where the chickens rarely poop. We've got someone laying an egg over there, letting me know that I'm disturbing her. But I'll go underneath the rabbit cages, and I'll scoop up all the hay and straw, pine shavings, all the stuff that's under there, and I'll put it directly on the beds. So what kind am I growing out here? Well, half of them I bought as starters, half of them I grew as seeds. I had to buy a little more starters than I originally wanted because if you remember the ones I had here, a lot of them froze, so I had to replace those tomatoes. But throughout here, I'm gonna have 6 Romas, 6 of the Better Boys tomatoes. Then we're starting with 6 of the sweet banana hybrid peppers. I like the really sweet ones. As well as I have 2 lunchbox oranges. And these are the ones I grew from seed that are gonna be a mystery because I've never had them. I got the seeds from my father. 4 Costa Ricans and 4 Thunderbolts are supposed to be pretty sweet and big bells. Then we go to our spices where I have my habaneros, a lot of jalapenos, chilies, and they call it a hot sauce pepper. I don't grow any of that stuff from seed. I just don't really get enough of it. I usually only grow like 1 of each plant. And then in my raised bed, a couple of these I bought as starters, but most of them are my seeds. They're a mix of Romas, Better Boys, and beef steaks. These are a lot of beef steaks that I grew from seed. And hopefully when it warms up just a little bit more, I'll be able to get some corn in the ground. And inside the greenhouse, these are all my beans, bush beans coming up. This is my cucumbers. So I have 12 cucumbers coming up, 12 zucchinis coming up, 10 cabbages over there. This is called Marabar spinach. It's supposed to be a viney, very heat resistant spinach. I'm trying that. These are all my comfreys, which might be ready to go in the ground, or at least pretty close to it. Shannon's prepping for tomorrow.
Yes, I was struggling with hard-boiling fresh eggs.
Yes, we had never made hard-boiled fresh eggs, so that we can have this is the deviled eggs tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm doing deviled eggs. And I hard-boiled a whole bunch to try out, and all the egg whites were just peeling away. So after talking to other people and looking online, apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar. That's like the medicine cure-all, the additive to just anything
I know,
you can do.
but also with the recipe that I look for that's working. I mean, they're decent, you know.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be good. That's in there. Is you boil? Obviously, you put them in the water. Put apple cider vinegar in there. Put a top on it. Let it reach boiling. Let it boil for 1 minute. Take it off. I don't know why. It's just following her rules. Take it off the burner for 1 minute. Put it back on the burner. Let it boil for 1 minute. Then take it off. Let it sit for 10 minutes. Top on and everything. I know. Then after 10 minutes, you drain out the water. In the same saucepan, you put water with 4 cups of ice cubes. Let that sit for 10 minutes, and then boom, you're done.
Seems a little confusing.
I don't know, but it's working. So you know what? Because I think I did 12 eggs, and I ended up feeding them all to all the animals because I was like, yeah, I can't. I'm not feeling these.
Well, we don't have a shortage of eggs.
No.
We get 9 to 10 every single day from 10 hens.
Oh, look how perfect this one is. Not one dent. The last one. Let's see what we got here. It's definitely a double yolker. Okay, next. Need to add mustard. It says Dijon. We're using regular mustard. No, not Dijon mustard. Let's see how this turns out. Oops, that was a little too much. Might be a little vinegary. Tastes like mayonnaise, much richer though. Probably that extra
Vinegar?
yeah, so if I do deviled eggs, I may not need vinegar.
That was pretty easy. So now we know how to make mayonnaise. So our next project for the day. Shannon's little arbor took a little tumble. So I'm gonna see if I can get this thing fixed before tomorrow. Wish me luck. This is gonna be an interesting ride. Kind of surprised we made it here in one piece. To be honest, not too sure how this is gonna go. But the wifey wants her arbor, so we're gonna make it work. I got the bottom secured. I'm trying to figure out how she did the top. Back to Shannon's home style crafts.
Yeah, see, apparently I can't just clean. I need something that gets rid of the dog smell on the couch because they smell and they need a bath. And so I'm just gonna make my own Febreze. Ooh. Look, an at-home steam facial. All right, I think we're gonna do lavender. If I can find it. This is what I use for my soap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stuff it all together. Like seriously, does it really matter? We're just gonna whisk it. Now I need a funnel.
If you get in my garden, we're gonna have some words. You better not go after my tomatoes. I might have to fence this thing off. Oh, unless she touches that fence. Or he. Are we about to have some turf wars? You are really a food motivated one. I think that's some scratch cranes that's just left down there. What are you doing, buddy? What's going on? It's okay. Looks like everybody's going to bed. Time to close them up. Seriously? Ducks, you too? Alright, good girls, y'all in there. Alright, whatever. See y'all in an hour, I guess. This time I think I'm safe. Good. Everybody's in bed.